What is a Porsche in the luxury segment supposed to look like? And we quickly came up with a clear answer, namely that the world does not need just another conventional three-box saloon. And that's why we clearly opted for a styling which on one hand stands for sports cars, but also on the other hand for an entirely new level of variability and daily usefulness. And of course, for the second generation of the Panamera, we once again did it the typical Porsche way. First of all, we asked ourselves, are we going to stick to that initial concept, or are we going to seize a new approach? And we quickly all agreed that we stick to the basic styling of the car and the basic concept. But of course, doing so, we strengthened the strengths and turned certain weaknesses into strengths as well. Well, and then, of course, in which areas did we evolve the car the most? And here the answer is quite obvious. In the side view and also the rear view, because these are the areas where we have received most feedback about from internal and also external sources. Now on the side you can see that we have clearly extended the fly line of the car, and for that we took two key measures. The roof above the rear passengers was lowered by 20 millimeters, however without reducing their headspace, and secondly the vehicle became a more pronounced rear end. The rear end was slightly raised, which all in all gives a more harmonic coupe-like fly line. And the second key feature that is new about the car is the DLO, the daylight opening. That's that specific look of the side windows, which was also clearly lengthened. It resembles the Porsche 911 now a bit more, but it's still the typical Panamera roofline, and what is certainly most obvious is this last part of the window, which is now part of the body. In the past, and with the first generation car, that vent window was part of the rear door, and that change now also once again gives the side view a more dynamic look. The wheelbase has been extended by 30 millimeters to 2,950 centimeters. The front axle thus moved forward by 12 millimeters, which gives the vehicle a clearly longer engine hood, and at the same time the passenger compartment was slightly moved towards the rear axle, which all in all gives the vehicle an even more powerful impression and look. What's also new is the 725 millimeter in diameter wheels, thus 21-inch rims are possible on the new Panamera, and with these large wheels the vehicle also get a kind of extended look compared to the predecessor. Now from the side view we now turn towards the front end. Here the changes have been more of the evolutionary kind. The design lines and the edges on the front have been clearly sharpened. What's also new here is an additional line, additional edge on the front wing, which you can easily spot from the driver's position, giving the front end once again that powerful look of sheer force. What's also new at the front end is the stronger arrow shaping of the front end. The front overhang has been reduced, but with that arrow-shaped front end, that measure has been further underlined even. What's also striking about the front end is our 4-point daytime running light, so that's the Porsche face actually to be recognized during daytime and also during the night, now coming with the new Matrix headlights. Now, let's turn towards the rear end of the vehicle. You can also see it on the screen up there. We have further pronounced the shoulders at the rear end, but by the way, let me also briefly touch upon the new side rear view mirrors and also these two very pronounced lines on the sides, which together with the new door profile once again give the side view the impression of power. And that brings us to that part connecting to the rear end. It is this cross-sectional line above the rear wheel which has been given a stronger profile as well. No more edges to be seen, and this is once again a strong reminder of the Porsche 911. And then finally the rear end. The spoiler has been moved from the rear window towards the upper end of the rear section. We also now have got three-dimensional rear lights, and what's entirely new about the rear end is the side-to-side LED light bar. Previously, it used to be a product feature of the Porsche 911 C4, that is the all-wheel driven Carrera, and now with the new Panamera, that feature becomes an element of the Porsche brand identity. And that side-to-side LED bar also offers the Porsche logo type a new home, a Porsche logo type which once again underlines the width of the car at the rear end. So I told you about the 4-point headlights at the front, and at the rear we've got the 4-point brake lights as well as a characteristic feature to recognize the car from the rear. So as you can see, we've made a major stride forward in terms of the exterior equipment and design. The vehicle certainly is now even more elegant than before, but the even bigger step forward was taken on the interior. And this brings me now to the looks that you get on the inside. Here once again we remained loyal to the Porsche DNA, and we on the one hand maintained some key elements of the past, but on the other hand we came up with a whole new optical impression and a new operating concept under the headline of the Porsche Advanced Cockpit.